What's up, all my Ewoks, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Ahsoka, since the trailer has dropped, and yes, I have seen it. Now, there is a lot to unpack in this trailer, so I'm actually going to be doing individual video analysis of some of the more important things that I would like to talk about. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure that you're subscribed and all that jazz so you don't miss any of those videos. But the main thing that we saw in this trailer that we're going to talk about right now is, guess what they're doing? They are doing Heir to the Empire with Thrawn! But instead of Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Han Solo, it's going to be with Ahsoka! Yay! Now, if you guys don't know what Heir to the Empire is, this was a trilogy that was written by Timothy Zahn, and for a very, very, very long time, this was considered the sequel trilogy to the original trilogy by basically all fans that were interested in the expanded universe. Now, this was basically about how after the Emperor and Darth Vader were out of the picture, well, there's still remnants of the Empire, right? Like, they just all don't go away, and whoever was the next highest in the chain of the command and kind of is a little bit more ballsy than the rest is going to take over, and that person was Thrawn. Now, Thrawn was an alien and a chiss. For those that did not know, this little snidbit of fact about the Emperor was you didn't really see any aliens in the Empire, right? Like, all the Imperials are all humans. And that was because Sidious was kind of a little bit of he hated aliens. You know, I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube, but you guys can put two and two together. So Thrawn, and I don't know if this still is a thing in Disney because Disney changes everything, because remember Kathleen Kennedy said that there's no books or comics, they don't have any source material, which is why they're not as successful as Marvel, even though they're going to go into the books in the expanded universe that they said wasn't canon. They're going to pick and choose things that they want because they're, you know, basically this is their cash cow. But anyways, they don't care about actual canon and continuity. They're just going to take what they want because they don't care. They just want the monies. And Thrawn is a very popular character. And the reason why Thrawn is such a popular character is because he was a great villain in this trilogy. And even in the Thrawn duology, which I actually prefer to the trilogy. But anyways, let's get back to this. So Thrawn was the only alien that got to the rank of Grand Admiral. And that was a big deal in the Empire because he's the only alien surrounded by all humans, because Darth Sidious didn't trust aliens, he didn't like aliens, and so for Thrawn to rise to the status that he did was a big deal. Now, the Chiss are a race of aliens that are from the unknown regions of space, and this is something that Disney constantly gets wrong, is that they keep giving them irises. Chiss don't have irises. That's something that's, you know, very intimidating, and it makes humans uncomfortable because when you look at their eyes, it's just glowing red, and it's like, where am I looking, you know? It's kind of like a shark, but instead of black, it's red. So that was a big thing. And, you know, you just look at this guy, and this is just fan art from back in the day. But this dude is intimidating. Like, do you want to piss this guy off? Probably not. So what happens in this is that Thrawn is basically in charge of what is ever left of the Imperial fleet. And they even get into the topic of how, like, some planets are still using Imperial currency and not New Republic currency. And, you know, people don't really know who's in charge. And it's basically Princess Leia is doing everything within the Galactic Senate and trying to, you know, take care of business, and Luke is dealing with the remnants of the dark side, and that comes into this character that's on the cover of the Heir to the Empire book, which is Master Sabaoth. Now, Master Sabaoth is a Jedi clone, so he was the clone of a actual Jedi, Master Sabaoth, who was out on a mission, you know, out a long space mission, and he died. Thrawn got a hold of his, you know, his DNA and everything, and the clone of him, and so, but there's something wrong with him. He's like psychotic. He's lost his mind because there's a problem with the cloning process that made this dude psycho. And so Luke is dealing with that, and Leia is kind of dealing with Thrawn and trying to outsmart Thrawn. And that's one of the things about Thrawn, is he's a master tactician, and it takes them basically a trilogy to do that. This is also where Mara Jade comes in to play, and it's really good. I would highly recommend reading it if you have the time. There's also a comic, and there is an audiobook, which is also very, very good. So I would highly recommend this if you guys want you know, better Star Wars story than probably what Disney's going to give you. can say that was very with confidence. Also, too, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Darth Angelus. This is a guy that is doing an animated series of Heir to the Empire and sticking as close to the books as possible. They are very, very good. I would highly recommend his channel. Go check it out. It is linked down below in the description of this video. Now that I've given you guys a little bit of a backstory on who Thrawn is, what Heir to the Empire is, and how that story actually went, let's talk about how that has to do with Ahsoka! Yay! And how Disney's going to bastardize it. Now, in the show Star Wars Rebels, we are shown how Ahsoka was working with Bail Organa to help the Rebel Alliance and working as one of his agents known as Fulcrum. And in one of the season finales, there's this really epic episode where she fights Darth Vader. And it's so cool and heartbreaking, and how we got in Obi-Wan, how he split his mask on the opposite side and Ahsoka split this, and then somebody was like, it shows how like Ahsoka was half his heart and Obi-Wan was half his heart. Padme was his whole heart. Get you in the fifis. But so Ahsoka basically, it's implied because they shut the doors and everyone has to leave, that Vader kills Ahsoka, further killing off a piece of his heart since Anakin was the one that trained Ahsoka. And then she is brought back in World Between Worlds with Ezra. Now, this World Between Worlds thing is another one of Dave Filoni's weird space wolf shit that he can basically use at any time to bring anyone back to life. And it's basically this guy, I'm not kidding. If you haven't watched Rebels, I'm not pulling your leg. This is real. Dave Filoni is absolutely obsessed with wolves to a very strange level. And he uses Jedi Space Force using wolves that lead Ezra through like this portal on this planet that takes him from one half to the planet to the other, and then goes to the World Between Worlds thing, which is basically this device that's kind of a ripoff of a Stargate. But also, it's not just like to take it to different planets. It's you can look at any point in time at what anyone is doing. And that's how he rescues Ahsoka. He pulls her through one of the doors so Vader doesn't kill her. And that's how she comes back. She comes back to life because Dave Filoni refuses to let his character die. Even though George Lucas said that all the Jedi died in Order 66, they're like, nah, we don't care, George. We don't care. You created Star Wars. Like, you're only basically this universe's God. And what you say should be, you know, the end all be all, but we don't give two shits about you anymore, George. You're out of there, which is what everyone at Disney says, including Dave Filoni. He's like, fuck you, George. I want Ahsoka. So Ahsoka's going to be in everything for the rest of time. And he's got this magical, let me show you guys again, this magical device that can always bring her back. So at any point, like let's go 10,000 years in the future. Well, guess what? We'll just use the World Between Worlds to just drag her through, and we'll bring her back. And that's another thing. We can bring her back at any point in time. So we can bring her back when she's young. We can go back, grab little baby Ahsoka. We can grab full grown Ahsoka. We can grab old lady Ahsoka. So Ahsoka will never be out of Star Wars as long as Dave Filoni is there. So just take that in mind. So yeah, the Force wolves and all of that. Now this is in the trailer a lot. Let me show you guys. So this is the scene where she's talking to the new Sith guy, which I have a couple pictures right here. So this is the new Sith guy and his apprentice. Let me see, what's that name? These are new characters that we have not seen. These, to my knowledge, of the Disney expanded, or not the Disney Star Wars expanded universe, not that fan fiction, to the actual Star Wars expanded universe, I didn't recognize these characters. Now, if you guys did, let me know in the comments. I have looked online to see if anyone had figured it out yet. There's fan theories, but nothing is confirmed. Apparently, there was some article that kind of explained it all, but it's been wiped from the internet because I guess it gave spoilers. So if you guys have an archive for that, that'd be great. Let me know. My email address is thatstarwarsgirl@gmail.com. Let me know. But so this, sorry, that's a little bit further in the video. But so this guy and this girl are now the new villains. But here's the thing. They're using orange lightsabers instead of red. Now, maybe that's just Disney doing a fuck up and they just got their colors wrong. Maybe there's something wrong, or they just need new merchandise, so they're doing it that way. But I was like, oh, that's weird that their lightsabers are orange and not red. Maybe there's something else going on. And To be honest, guys, I don't trust it. Disney used to be known for their creativity and, you know, them pushing the boundaries of special effects and animation and storytelling. That's not the same company anymore. I feel like it should be called Farceny, not Disney anymore, because it's very much a farce of what it used to be. And I don't trust them to be like, oh, this is this new, really interesting creative endeavor that we're on. It's more so like, oh, you just accept it because you're a Disney or you're a Star Wars fan, and Star Wars fans will just buy anything. So just accept it, which is usually what we've been given. And if you don't, then you're a misogynistic man baby that lives in their mother's basement, which is what I've been called so many times. I'm like, no. I'm just like, yes, I know I'm a weirdo. I am like just been that weird Star Wars girl that's loved Star Wars my entire life. And I have a weirdly random factual knowledge of stuff in this universe, that and Star Trek and many other things. But it was one of the things that I got a lot of shit for my entire life, and for apparently it just became useful on the internet, which I'm very, very grateful for, that there's other people like me out there in the universe that appreciate the things that I do, because I could never find it in real life. So thank you to all you wonderful people that watch my channel and totally get me. So when I see this kind of stuff, I'm just like, really, like, you don't understand what this means. But that's because they don't care, which is crazy, because the company that I grew up loving used to care about all this kind of stuff, and it was so interesting, and it was like, that's why you have the fan base that you do. But those people that cared don't work there anymore, and now it's just a bunch of people that, just they do something, and if you don't like it and you criticize it in any way, shape, or form, even if it is helpful, then you are the embodiment of all evil. But so these characters honestly looked cool. I was like, oh, that's cool. I like the orange lightsaber. I didn't exactly get the feeling that they were Sith, even though, yes, they are doing very Sith-like things and killing people. It seemed more like, when people get pushed to that limit, and then it's like, all right, all of our friends died. We watched everyone get murdered in Order 66. The Empire are ruthless. We kind of got to be ruthless too. So I feel like because it's not red, maybe they're going with that more of anti-hero kind of thing, which I feel like Disney does a lot now. I feel like the anti-hero thing is just, it's kind of an overused trope nowadays, at least in my opinion. And that mainly has to do because it's not really done well anymore. It's just overused, and it's like, oh, it's another anti-hero. I'm like, well, everyone's an anti-hero at this point. Like, can we get something new? Can we get a ruthless villain? But if they do that, then they're going to offend some weirdo on Twitter, and then they're going to scream and try to cancel them. So they can't do that. So everyone's got to be the best as ever. And if they're not, then they get canceled, and Disney is very against any of that, and they're like, oh, somebody that didn't do anything wrong, oh well, we'll just get rid of them because the internet's canceling them. So that's why I'm like, they're probably not going to be real villains. They're probably going to be anti-heroes, even if they start murdering people like these two are literally about to both do in this trailer. And like Kylo Ren, right? Kylo Ren literally blew up a bunch of planets, killing billions, if not trillions of people. But everybody loves him because of the Reylo stuff. And they're like, yay, Kylo Ren is the bestest ever. And it's like, really, he just murdered everyone. He killed his father. But then they got to redeem him. So again, that's why I'm saying I don't think they're going to be villains. They're going to be anti-heroes based on the stuff that Disney has shown us. But so just looking at the IMDB and like the casting of this, it's like, oh, cool. Mon Mothma's coming back. I actually think out of everyone that the actress that plays her, I think that she's really, really good. Even though I did not like Andor, I think that she did a very good job of playing Mon Mothma and gave a really good performance. But so we have Ahsoka, we have Anakin, which when I saw Hayden, I was like, ah! Like the Fifis, the little kid in me that went and saw Revenge of the Sith with my dad when I was little. I'm just like, it's Anakin Skywalker. And so I know how happy it must make Hayden to like come back. And I got teary when he was at Star Wars Celebration. He cried a little bit, and I was like, that made me like get emotional, because it's not his fault it's written this way. And that's another thing. It's none of the actors' fault that it's written this way, that the people doing this don't care. It's the people that are writing this fault, and the directing, and the executive producer, and all the execs that are making executive decisions. It's their fault. It's not the actors' fault. I don't blame them for one thing. They are literally just doing their job. So anyone that's crying about this video on Twitter, you guys didn't watch it, because I've never blamed the actors for the stuff that, you know, they're just doing their job. But so we got Ahsoka, we got Anakin, we got Sabine, we got these two new people, we got Ezra because he is in the little hologram thing, we got Thrawn, and we got Hera. Now, this is what I showed you guys a little bit earlier. So this chick is playing Hera. Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays Hera in Ahsoka. Now, this is what I said. This is a screenshot from my Instagram store. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's that StarWarsGirl77. Go follow me over there. I am shadow banned, so go check it out. Help me grow. Help me get out of the shadow ban on the Instagrams. But so, okay, in my opinion, guys, this woman cannot act. I have seen her in quite a few movies, and she did like a couple television shows. She is terrible. She cannot act to save her life. Now, that might be because she hasn't worked with the right director, and this is what I said in my previous video about Daisy Ridley. Some people just, they're not working with directors that, you know, really know how to bring out a performance in an actor. So maybe she just hasn't worked with the right director yet, but she is terrible, and I think she's a terrible cast for Hera. But I already know how she got the job, and it says it right there on the screen. Ewan McGregor and her were on a television show together where they're supposed to fall in love. And I guess they really did in real life. Ewan McGregor ended up cheating on his wife, who he had 3 children with and had been together for like what, almost like decades at that point. And he cheated. They got divorced, and then he married her, and they have a baby. So I guess it all worked out, and you know, that's not uncommon. Look at what happened with Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie. He fell in love with Angelina Jolie on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, left Jennifer Aniston, had a bunch of kids with Angie, and then they ended up breaking up. But this woman that can't act at all, in my opinion, based on the performances I've seen, and is completely wrong for the character of Hera, because I have watched Rebels and I know how Hera is. Terrible, terrible casting, but we know how she got the job. Oh, she's just conveniently married to Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I wonder how she got the job. Total freaking mystery there, right? But so in this trailer, we see Ahsoka, and this looks like she's in the World Between Worlds, you know, environment. This is her with this dude. Oh, look, right before he ignites a lightsaber. Let's go a little bit off it. There we go. So they're in this area that's like, oh, that looks kind of interesting. Now, it's not exactly like the World Between Worlds that we saw in Rebels. It is similar. Maybe this is just like the live action version of it, but still, I'm like, with everything that's, you know, up on like projected into the space, which it doesn't look like there's any walls there. It looks like they're kind of in an environment which looks very, very similar to the environment that we see in the beginning. And one of the things about the World Between Worlds is there's let me see if I can get it. So there's all these circles, right? And that's exactly the same thing that we saw here. There was like the spinning circle of the space wolves that Dave Filoni is obsessed with, and then we see that also here in this trailer. And it seems like the place that she's fighting this random guy, this Jedi Sith anti-hero guy, is the same place that she was in the beginning. This is just night and has all this projected. So maybe that's the thing, is that they're trying to find the World Between Worlds. And my guess is, and you guys can, we'll document this for later, is that maybe these two, again, they're not the villains, because no one's ever really a bad guy in Disney. Maybe they're anti-heroes, and maybe what he's trying to do is to go reset time and use the World Between Worlds device to go back in time and stop Order 66 and fix everything. And that's why he's like, I'm ruthless, I'll stop at nothing to fix everything. And it'll be that whole excuse, like when people commit like, you know, terrible, horrendous crimes, but it's during a time of war, so they get away with it. I mean, that could be. Watch, that's exactly what happens. You guys document this video evidence for the future. But so also, many moons ago, I did this tweet where I was talking about how in the ending of The Mandalorian, when they had Luke come back, and how it had, basically it brings in the World Between Worlds to kind of retcon things. Now, this tweet pissed off a lot of people. I was the first one to call this out. I called it out a couple years before. So anytime people are telling you, no, Anna, it was this person, it was this person, nah, bitches, it was me. I was the first one that said it, and I got the documentation to prove it. Not only with this tweet, but also with video evidence. You guys can go see the countless streams and videos I made on the subject. But so them bringing this into it makes me believe that it is an alternate reality, because obviously they can't use the Thrawn trilogy. They can't use Han, Luke, and Leia because, well, Carrie Fisher died. And from what I understand, Harrison Ford has absolutely no interest in coming back to Star Wars, and Mark Hamill is being Mark Hamill. And, well, at the end of the day, they are too old to do this unless they're going to do some kind of de-aging and voice acting and all of that stuff. They can't do it. So it's an alternate reality with Ahsoka fighting Thrawn, and that is going to be the show, along with them trying to find Ezra, because at the end of Rebels, it was them going off to find Ezra because, and guys, I'm not kidding, this is what happened. There are space whales, yes, whales that can go through space, which was ripped off from Star Trek, by the way. Dave Filoni does that quite often, and he's been caught by Katie Lucas, George Lucas's daughter, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I created that," and she's like, "No, you didn't, Dave. You got it from the EU," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I did." So in Star Wars Rebels, there are space whales that fly through space, and Ezra and Thrawn got taken by the space whales. Also can teleport through space using, you know, their own version of internal hyperdrives. I know it sounds weird, but so they get Ezra and Thrawn in their spaceship and they teleport them to somewhere random in the galaxy, and they have no idea where they are. So Sabine and and Ahsoka, they're gonna go off to look for Ezra and Thrawn, and so obviously Thrawn made his way back because Thrawn is extremely resourceful. Thrawn is a great character, and who knows what he did with Ezra. So the show is going to not only be about them looking for Ezra, which is why I think it shows Ahsoka going and talking to Sabine, but also, again, the heir to the Empire thing, bringing in Jedi, Sith, anti-hero people, and that's going to be the show. Watch, I guarantee it. And that, everything that I just said is based on my own random knowledge and facts that I have in my head of Star Wars. So I hope you guys liked my little in-depth analysis. Let me know what you thought about everything that I just said. If you guys liked this breakdown, smash that like button. Again, let me know what you think. If you got that article that spoiled everything, please link it down below or email it to me. My email address is thatstarwarsgirl@gmail.com. And guys, I know this was a long video, so thank you so much for watching. I tried to pack in as much information as possible. Let me know down below. Smash like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And may the Force be with you, because we are really, 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 really going to need it. Bye, everyone. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for supporting my channel, my content. And if you guys would like to see more, I actually have a gaming channel over on Twitch. And if you guys are interested in that, you guys can go follow me over there. I play fun games like Elden Ring and KOTOR, and I'm going to be playing much more games in the future. So go over there, give it a follow, and check it out. Also, if you guys want to keep up to date on my cosplay endeavors and behind the scenes posts, go follow me over on my Instagram. It's thatstarwarsgirl77. I post fun photos and behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't see anywhere else on the internet. And last but not least, if you guys would like to support the channel and my content, go over to my Etsy store for merch. I have cosplay posters. My old cosplay calendars are available there, as well as prints of my original oil paintings, and more is going to be added in the future. So continue to check up on that. If you guys have seen something that you like, that you would like to purchase, all of that is available over on my Etsy. Everything that I've just shown you is linked in the description of this video. So go check it out if you're interested. And guys, once again, thank you so much for watching my channel, my content, and have a great rest of your day.